Hey, good morning all, and welcome to ITHive.org's live tech show, episode 41. Back in the office this week, and just a couple of things to mention. If you are watching this live, like always, feel free to post a question, ask at will if there's anything you want me to talk about, or if you have any just questions in general, not even on the subject, that's fine. Also, if you're not watching this live, feel free to do the same thing. Post a comment, go to our Facebook page, contact form on our website, whatever the case may be, ITHive.org. You got a question to ask, and we'll do our best to answer. So, in today's episode, episode 41, I wanted to go over a couple of things. One is a little bit about the hacker. Okay, I had an unpleasant experience this week, and I just wanted to share that. It's, I think we've gone over this before in the past, but it's worth mentioning again, and hopefully more people can be prevented from going down this road, because I see this a lot, this kind of thing happens. So there's that, and then also the benefits of decluttering. Something that and decluttering your technology, something I suspect a lot of people don't do, and so we just want to talk about that a little bit and see where that goes. So first off, okay, the hacker. It's so frustrating for me to talk about this, because the scenario I'm about to go through with you guys is underlining what happens out there, and it's really close and dear to my heart, because what these people do actually undermines what I'm trying to do legitimately, and it's so frustrating because it's giving the industry a bad name. It's giving it's preventing people from actually searching out legitimate sources for help, right? And these guys, they're making money, so and they're making money on the back of people that are unknowing or unwilling. And it's so frustrating. Now, personally for me, I've helped two people in this situation, and in both cases was able to get their money back. And in this one, the most recent one this week, here's how it played out. So the individual in that was the target. He had some questions about his Canon printer, and he was working to resolve that. So he did some Google searches and whatnot, and was led to believe that the 1-800 number that he was calling was tech support from Canon. And so he called that number, and they before I say what they did, right, I have to point out that one of the most devious forms of trickery is when you include a truth within a lie, right? And this happens a lot. So, and social media, whatever, in today's world, right? We all need to be aware of that kind of thing. And it's hard to decipher, because you're faced with a truth, right? But then it's not all true, right? It's illegitimate. So what happened in this case is that this individual called the number erroneously, talked, got some help and support, got some very misleading information, right? So he was basically fear-mongered into believing that he had bigger issues and bigger problems, and then was forced to pay to have those things fixed, right? And in the end of the day, received nothing for it, right? And, you know, just like, it's so frustrating. I called these guys myself, right? And right off the bat, I like to play with hackers a little bit. So, I called them and I asked them, I said, well, what company am I calling? What company do you represent? And couldn't get an answer. So right off the bat, right there, if they can't disclose what company they're representing, right? And the guy kept putting it on me, like wanting to know who I was, right? And I'm like, well, I don't have to tell you who I am, right? You're a company providing a service to consumers. You're offering a public service, right? You should be able to divulge your company name. And so we went back and forth a little bit, but clearly, up to no good. And that was my test for this person that had this bad experience, right? And because I wanted to know before giving advice, really if this was legitimate or not, and clearly it was not, right? And this just drives me nuts for obvious reasons. For those who know what I do and why I do, people out there need help, right? Computers can be a frustrating thing. And, it's very, very unfortunate that there are players out there who are tricking people into spending money and getting nothing, right? Or, even having their credit card information or their financial information, posted on the dark web or anything like that. These guys are just the slime balls of I wouldn't even say the tech industry, because they're not. They're clowns, and the only thing they know how to do is to rip people off, right? So, it's just nuts, And I was going to maybe on today's show actually call them and just have some fun, but I don't know. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So, but anyway, just for general public service message out there for everybody, please be careful, right? Ask questions, right? Challenge who's giving you support, and if it doesn't seem right, if it doesn't smell right, it's probably not right, right? And you just have to, and of course, right, we're the real deal, right? We're actually doing this legitimately. We help people. We actually go out of our way to educate our customers, and we do our very best to try and make sure that there's no frustration and that people know what they're doing, why they're doing, and what we bill for, right? All up front. And because for us, the foundation of everything we do is trust. So we're not pushy salespeople. We go with what the customer wants, and we educate. And then at the end of the day, it's up to the customer to decide how they want things to go, right? And what risks they're willing to take and what risks they're willing not to take. So it's just what we do. So anyway, that's enough about the hacker. So please be careful out there. That's all I got to say, right? And, better than that, become a customer. You don't have to worry about being careful out there. You know where to go to get help, right? And we know what's happening with your stuff, and we can help you effectively. So on to decluttering, right? So like me, And like me, and like I would suspect other people, with your phone and with your computer, you're constantly installing apps, and particularly on your phone, and you try them out, and then maybe it doesn't quite do what you want it to do, and then you just move on, right? But I would encourage people at least once a month to go through your phone and uninstall all those apps that you don't use. Look at each one and say, do I use that, right? Have I ever used it? Have I used it in the last year, right? And if not, uninstall it, right? And that's pretty good and easy to do with your phone, right? With your computer, you have to be a little bit more careful because you might uninstall something that you shouldn't be uninstalling, right? But there's an easy way to if you Google search a program or whatever that's on your computer and discover a little bit about it, and then decide whether you can uninstall it or not, right? If you're a customer of ours, right, we can definitely help you do that. So why is it important to declutter? Well, here's the thing. A computer, as much as we are sold to believe, or a phone, as much as we're sold to believe, is easy and no frustration, that's not always necessarily true. Behind the scenes, as I've said before, technology can be quite complex. So the more you add onto your platform, the more you add to your computer, the more you add to your phone, right? You're adding another thing that can cause a problem. And the thing that you should be doing by decluttering your technology is you're simplifying things, right? The less you have on your computer, the less likely things are going to cause problems, right? Especially if it's software or things that you don't even use, right? Why have it there? And so by removing it, you're simplifying that device and making it more stable, right? Less things to update, less problems, So I'm definitely, myself personally, going to go through this process on a regular basis and just declutter all my machines once a month. Just review what I have installed on it, what I have installed on my phone, and just remove the stuff that I want to use, right? I think this is particularly important with your phone because I know for myself, I'm always installing apps on the phone, to try this or try that, check this out and see, if I like it or not. And very often I don't remove them, and I realize I should be. So extremely important to declutter your tech. What else? I think that's, about it. I think I don't have that much else to say. We covered the hacking. For those of you who want me to do this, I don't mind. But let me know if you want me, and maybe we can do like a Call the Hacker show. And I almost did this today, and I thought, my heart just wasn't into it because these guys can be so frustrating. They drive me nuts sometimes, and even to call them and have a little bit of fun. I don't know. This one, I've already done that with these guys. But so anyway, just to recap, please be careful, right? It's good if you can support yourself and do things on your own. We encourage that. We encourage our customers to do that. But please be careful. Always understand that there are people out there that are just looking for opportunities to rip you off. And unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. It just drives me nuts. But anyway, that's the way it is. The ugly world. Will that ever improve? I don't think so. I think it'll always be there. So On that note, we reached our 15 minutes, and we will reconvene next week, 10 a.m. on Saturday Eastern. And feel free to join live or watch after. That's perfectly fine. And if you know somebody that needs computer help, please direct them our way. We will not disappoint. We want to make customers happy, and we want to build trusting relationships and empower people out there so that they're not accidentally going to a hacker for help. All right. So on that note, talk to you next week. See ya. Bye.